So the question is, do teams really understand the power of applying Scrum professionally? And this is a really hard one because or contentious one, because I don't think that most teams I've ever worked with act like professionals. They act like amateurs. And that's not necessarily their fault. There's not a blame there. It's just how companies expect. They don't seem to expect us to be professionals and do the right thing. They want us to do their thing at whatever speed they want us to do it at, which means that we're, as engineers, as a software engineer for many years, we're encouraged to do things the easy, fast, cheap way, not the right way. And that encourages unprofessional behavior. It supports unprofessional behavior. So most teams don't necessarily understand what professional behavior looks like. Even to the level of, I worked with an organization a few years ago, and we did an exercise on what requirements should look like for the engineering team to take them on. So this was not the engineering teams themselves. This was the product management group. And we did this exercise where I love it. Get everybody in a room, break them into groups, cross-functional groups, and then they have to take some user interface from their product and break down what the requirements they would have liked to have with hindsight, right? So they build these lovely detailed requirements and how much detail and all the questions they had to go ask and the stuff they didn't know, and they built all of this, and they're like, holy moly, that's a lot of stuff. And then we started the second part of the exercise, which was take something off their backlog that they have right now that they haven't built yet, and do the same thing for it, right? So they're trying to build out these requirements, and the head of product management stopped the whole workshop, and basically said that him and his team were not set up to be able to do this. Just we are not fundamentally capable of creating and working with you to build requirements of this level of detail that we obviously now see this is what you needed in the first place, right? That we've never given you before, but we're not set up to do it. That's like a moment of realization that professionalism is up here and your capacity to deliver is down here, right? This is where we need to be. This is where a professional product management group is interacting collaboratively with the team, figuring out what it is they need, working up front, getting ahead of the curve of the things that the teams need so that everything's ready at the right time. And they just weren't ready for that. And I think that's true in lots of parts of organizations, not just on teams and Scrum teams. And one of the purposes of Scrum is to make those things transparent, right? You go to try and do these things that working. One of the minimum professional things that any team, if you have a software team, they absolutely should be able to create usable working product every iteration, including the first that is production ready, right? That's like minimum bar for Scrum. If you're not doing that, if you don't have that at the end of the sprint, potentially shippable, not ship, potentially shippable, right? You're not doing Scrum yet. You're just fundamentally not at the level of transparency that you need for a professional Scrum team. And so many teams look at that and go, holy crap, we're so far away from that. It's insane. Right? That is a hard place to be, and it's a hard realization, not just for the team, because as the team tries to get there, they're going to realize all the things they don't have, right? Oh, but we can't create production ready because we've got a third-party testing team that comes in and does testing. So how do we know that stuff? How do we know what they're going to come up with? Or we submit it to, what did we used to do at Merrill Lynch? PwC, there's some company we used to submit all of our websites to that would then do a third-party penetration test, and we had no idea what tools they used to do those pen tests. They call it just the pen testing. It costs 15 grand to do a pen test, and you would get an output of stuff you need to go fix. Well, it wasn't done, right? The product that you created wasn't done, wasn't ready, wasn't shippable quality. because you don't understand those tools that they're using. You don't understand those additional checks, and you need to. So I think the power of applying Scrum professionally is understanding what it takes to be professionals and have a professional work ethic where we're creating something that our customers can use, that they can get value from, that they value, right? And most teams don't really understand that until they start. And then they start to understand what they don't know, start to add more capabilities in there, and they eventually get to being professional teams. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, follow, and subscribe. I always reply to comments, and if you want to have a chat about this or anything else Agile, Scrum, or DevOps, then please book a coffee with me through Naked Agility.